President Trump proposes new changes to student loans as part of his annual budget proposal for 2021.
And 2 Ohio State football players arrested after rape allegations.
And is there a new Jonas baby on the way? All this and much more on this episode of OC News.
Welcome and thank you for joining us here at OC News. I'm Genesis Osuna.
And I'm Celeste Bassage. OC News is brought to you by the broadcast journalism students at Cal State Fullerton.
A shocking turn of events has happened after another Democratic Party election takes place on Tuesday night. Now with a dwindling amount of candidates, only 6 remain, with the frontrunner almost tied with Bernie Sanders at a slight advantage of 1% over Pete Buttigieg. With the Californian primaries ahead, it is a tight race for the opponents after the New Hampshire primary sweeps through the Democratic Party.
And another one bites the dust. The primary elections begin to heat up as the New Hampshire election forces another candidate to drop out of the race. Former Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick announces the end of his campaign. Patrick believes the lack of votes he acquired in the New Hampshire primary as his ultimate demise. Patrick wanted to remind his supporters that while he is suspending his campaign, he is making it clear that, quote, "I am not suspending my commitment to help."
New Hampshire primaries have concluded that the Democratic candidacy is still anyone's game. Bernie Sanders and Pete Buttigieg battled it out for the top Tuesday night for New Hampshire's primary, with their fellow competitor from not far, Amy Klobuchar, has seen as an underdog, but it is a shocking turn of events. She made her mark with 19.8% of the vote. Her newfound popularity sparked a new change in attitude when she spoke at the event, even saying, quote, "Hello, America. I'm Amy Klobuchar, and we will beat Donald Trump."
Donald Trump's worst nightmare is that the people in the middle, the people who have had enough of the name calling and the mudslinging, have someone to vote for in November.
Sanders also makes his stance about Trump, saying, quote, "And let me say tonight that this victory here is the beginning of the end for Donald Trump." Sanders seems to be heading into his next 2 races as the popular candidate for Black and Latinx Americans. Nevada and South Carolina will be the next 2 factors to decipher if his lead will stick. As for California, Tuesday, March 3rd will be the day for Californians' primary election. February 17, 2020 will be the last day to register by mail and online. You are, however, able to register in person on the actual day of the election, so make sure to take advantage and count your vote.
Have you voted, or are you going to vote?
I will definitely participate in the voting.
Absolutely. Trump announces new budget plans for student loans, and Julio Marquez is speaking about how it will affect their future.
The Trump administration plans to eliminate subsidized loans, which would lead to $52 billion in debt payments in the next 10 years. They also plan to consolidate the 5 income drive payments into one solid payment. Students would also pay their debt off based on a percentage of their income, and under a new plan, they would also pay per month, or pay a higher rate per month, but 5 years less. Instead of 20 years, they would pay their debt off in 15, and graduate students would finish paying their debt off in 30 years. If you have any concerns or problems or questions, the financial aid office is right here at Gordon Hall. I'm Julio Marquez. Back to you guys at the studio.
2 people have been injured as a 5-alarm fire blazed through a Tustin apartment complex early this morning. The OC Fire Authority reports that the fire occurred on the 15,000 block of William Street and Tustin at 3 a.m. 120 OC firefighters were sent to the scene. The Red Cross is helping the 100 displaced residents.
Roger Stone is facing up to 9 years in federal prison for obstructing a congregational investigation and lying to the Congress. Lawmakers are worried with the comments President Donald Trump made on Twitter stating, quote, This is a horrific and very unfair situation. The real crimes were on the other side, as nothing seems to them. Stating his concerns for Stone, he ends the tweet with, "I cannot allow this miscarriage of justice." Republican Senator John Kennedy condemns to Trump's comment on Stone's case that the president is going to tweet. This left the Democrat Party appalled that attorney Bill Barr is taking charge of Stone's case. Democrats believe Barr is demolishing independence of the Justice Department and recommends he steps down from the case. Stone's sentencing will be finalized later this month.
We have the latest on the 2 Ohio State football players released from the team.
Then we have an update on the coronavirus.
Also, NBA legend Dwayne Wade speaks out about the transgender community. See what he has to say and all that more coming up on OC News.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. And she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you, and we'll figure it out."
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Two Ohio State football players have been charged with rape and kidnapping. 21-year-olds Amir Rip and Jocelyn Wint were arrested Tuesday night and taken to the Franklin County Jail. The school announced on Wednesday that they were kicked off the Buckeye squad. The incident allegedly occurred in the evening on February 4th at the apartment that quarterback Rip and safety Wint share on Columbus's northwest side. Wint's attorney, Sam Szymanski, said the charges against him are outrageously false.
The defenseman on the Montreal Canadiens, Shea Weber, will be out for 4 to 6 weeks according to the orthopedic in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and could possibly be out for the rest of the NHL season. Weber's injury occurred when they played the New Jersey Devils on February 4, although unfortunate that the two-time Olympic gold medalist is out. The Canadiens took home a W from the Devils with a 5-4 lead. Weber has been out for a total of 3 games so far, and we will not be playing today's game against the Boston Bruins.
Final arrangements are still being made for the public memorial of Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna. No word yet on the tickets for the service scheduled for 10 a.m. on February 24th at the Staples Center. Vanessa Bryant announced that the event on Instagram, calling it a celebration of life. The date is symbolic since Kobe's jersey was number 24 and Gianna wore number 2. While fans continued to grieve at the Staples Center, a private burial took place quietly in Corona Del Mar last Friday. The Laker great and his daughter were laid to rest at the Pacific View Memorial Park in Corona Del Mar, not far from the family home. On Monday, thousands gathered at Anaheim Stadium to say goodbye to the longtime Orange Coast College baseball coach John Altobelli, his wife Carrie, and daughter Alyssa. All were killed when their helicopter crashed in Calabasas in heavy fog on January 26th.
Moving on to health, I have some updates and major news. The coronavirus continues to attack. 13 cases confirmed in the U.S. and nearly 45,000 across the world. The death toll is increasing and has counted for more than 1,000 confirmed deaths. The Diamond Princess cruise ship has confirmed 175 cases of coronavirus. Crew members and passengers are fearing for their lives as they do not have the right equipment to prevent the spread of the virus. The cruise ship is expected to end on February 19th. The Center for Disease Control is taking steps to help prevent the spread and prepare the U.S. from a potential outbreak. The United States pledged $100 million to help China and other countries who have been affected by the virus. A popular insulin pump is being recalled by the FDA. The Medtronic's Mini Med 600 series insulin pumps caused the death of one, and more than 2,000 have been injured by the device, delivering incorrect insulin doses that led to the hospitalization of many type 1 diabetes. The defect has to do with the retainer ring that doesn't properly lock in the insulin cartridges. The FDA has received more than 26,000 complaints. And almost 14,000 new cases of invasive cervical cancer will be diagnosed in the United States this year. It's an alarming number, but a new study suggests that cervical cancer could be eradicated if efforts to stop it were stepped up. Reporter Mandy Geider has more than in today's Health Minute.
Nearly 4,300 American women will die from cervical cancer this year, according to estimates from the American Cancer Society. But a new study published in the Lancet Public Health Journal suggests that cancer could be eliminated within 2 decades in the U.S. Researchers say scaling up cervical cancer screening coverage in the U.S. to 90% could expedite elimination of the disease and avert more than 1,400 cases a year. They say this would be the most effective way of speeding up the eradication of the disease compared to current levels of screening and human papillomavirus vaccination. HPV causes most cervical cancer cases, according to the World Health Organization. This analysis follows recent published studies which suggest just 1 dose of the HPV vaccine may be just as effective as 2 or 3 doses at preventing cancer-causing HPV, although multiple doses are still recommended. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention currently recommends 2 doses of the HPV vaccine for boys and girls ages 11 and 12. Children who start the vaccine series on or after their 15th birthday need 3 shots over 6 months, according to the CDC. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Coming up on OC News, see what Dwayne Wade had to say about the transgender community.
Then see the latest trend that has been sweeping the nation. All that and more coming up on OC News.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I heard a lot was happening in the entertainment world recently. Justina, can you spill the tea?
Yes, Celeste, there's a lot of surprises spilling in the entertainment world, and I got them deets. Former Miami Heat shooting guard Dwayne Wade widely opened in support of daughter Zaina, who after she came out as transgender. A video shared on Twitter by stepmother Gabrielle Union includes Zaya discussing her decision with her father. She was born as Zane, male, but now chooses to be known as Zaya with female pronouns. Wade officially shared the news yesterday during Ellen DeGeneres' talk show. He announced that Zaya will now identify as female.
Anything that I've ever done.
Speaking of announcing, almost 3 decades later and rock and roll's Black Cat returns to the stage. Janet Jackson recently announced that she will go on her Black Diamond tour this summer in Miami. She further announced that she will travel to other venues across the U.S. where she will feature new music under the same name, including 12 other previous multi-platinum records. Europe dates are still unknown, but tickets will go on sale tomorrow. And I've got exciting news for those Jonas fans because it seems that Joe Jonas is about to become a father for the first time. E! News reported earlier today that Games of Thrones star Sophie Turner and her husband Joe Jonas are expecting their first child. Exciting, right? The hot couple was last seen at the 2020 Grammys event just last month, where the Jonas Brothers performed What a Man Gotta Do. The couple was married in Las Vegas last May and are about to start a new chapter in their lives.
Have you done the broomstick challenge that's been going on social media lately?
I didn't. I thought it wouldn't last one day.
That's what I thought too. That's why I was like, okay, maybe I'll wait till tomorrow to do it. But I guess it's not happening anymore. So if any of you happen to do the broomstick challenge, tag us at Titan TV CSUF. Thank you so much for tuning in this week's OC News. I'm your host, Celeste Bassich.
And I am Genesis Osuna. Make sure you follow us on all major social media platforms and check us out next week. Thank you and good night, Titans.